Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, we speak with Governor Doug Ducey on the nearly completed 2017 legislative session. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Tonight, a conversation with Arizona Governor Doug Ducey as the legislature nears the end of the 2017 session. We'll talk about some of the bigger issues addressed this year. We welcome Arizona Governor Doug Ducey to Arizona Horizon. Good to see you again. Thanks
Good to be back. Thanks for coming up.
Yeah, you betcha. Let's talk about the session. It's almost over, not quite done here. A lot of the heavy lifting is over with. 30,000-foot view. What are you seeing?
Well, I think it was a positive session. I think it was a win for education. We've got more money for teachers. We've got $163 million over and above inflation. We've got a $1 billion bond for universities and for these college kids that are there. So I think it was an education-focused budget, and I think education was a winner here. And there's still more to do, but this is what we put out in mid-January, and we feel good about where we are.
$9.8 billion spending plan. Again, your thoughts in general.
Well, our budget's balanced. And I give a lot of credit to Speaker of the House, J.D. Mesnard, and incoming President Steve Yarborough as President of the Senate. We worked together. They wanted to do a different process through appropriations this year, so it didn't feel top-down or leadership-driven. We had a lot of buy-in from across the legislature. We had the university package that was bipartisan and very positive. So you always want to get more votes, I think, when you're taking something into the legislative process. But as governor, I need to get to 16 and 31, respectively, in the Senate and the House. That's what we were able to do. We were able to get these dollars into the classrooms and to the teachers and to the universities, and it's going to be a good next step for what we need to do in the state.
Expanding the bonding authority for universities, that was a big deal for you. Last time we talked, that was a big deal. It remained a big deal. Why?
Well, we're sitting in the fastest growing county in the nation. Arizona is among the fastest growing states in the nation. Arizona State University is the #1 most innovative school in the country, beating out MIT and Stanford. U of A is going in the right direction. NAU is going in the right direction. We have a pipeline in K-12. We want these kids to have a great university option. These universities are going to continue to grow. There's going to be research opportunities, and now those dollars are going to be assured going forward, $1 billion over the next 25 years. It's going to be very good for our university system, for education, and for higher education.
That plan is different than what you originally proposed, which would have redirected sales taxes from cities and towns. Are you okay with the final results?
Oh, I'm thrilled. For me, it was about the resources to the universities with accountability and oversight, and that's what we achieved.
Teacher raises $1,000 annually for this year and promised for next year. $1,000, is that enough? It's a raise. Is it enough to make a difference?
Well, it's a percentage raise. It's guaranteed, and we want to see more. So we're happy that we were able to get it over the finish line. On top of the $68 million for teachers' raises, we had $163 million over and above inflation, and that's on top of $350 million with the passage of Prop 123. So teachers can and are in many cases getting larger raises. I want to see these teachers getting larger raises. You know, Arizona is leading in terms of results, math, reading, and science improvement versus other states in the country. This is a testament and a tribute to the quality of teachers we have in the state of Arizona. We need to keep them. We need more of them. So I'm glad these dollars got to them, but you're going to see more effort on education as we go forward. We're not going to stop here.
You said you wanted to see larger raises. Democrats wanted to see a 4% raise. That was a no-go. Why?
Well, we increased the rate of raises that we could get to teachers in this budget. There's, of course, to me, the #1 priority are those teacher raises. There's also additional money for education, you know, buses, cafeteria, plant maintenance, those types of things. We're going to leave the additional raises to the superintendents and principals. The dollars are there.
Yeah, but the superintendents and principals say those dollars are needed for so many different things. Teacher raises sometimes just we can't do that. That's not a priority compared to some of the other more important factors. Do they have a point?
Well, they have a point that there are other priorities in addition to teachers. There's no higher priority than our teachers, along with our kids inside the classrooms. But I'll leave that final decision to the principals and the superintendents.
A new report from the Morrison Institute, adjusted for inflation, Arizona elementary school teacher pay is the lowest in the nation. Adjusted for inflation, secondary teachers ranks 49th. That's not good for Arizona. When can we change that?
Well, we changed it in this session. We added dollars to the baseline. We added dollars to the classroom site fund. We added dollars dedicated to teachers. We're going to continue to do that. Ted, I've been here 28 months. We've moved hundreds of millions of dollars that weren't being spent in K-12 education into the education formula. We're going to continue addressing this, and we want to do it, and we want to do it because I'm really excited about the results and direction we're getting in terms of improvement according to the nation's scorecard. So these teachers deserve to be rewarded, and we need more dollars there.
I know the Morrison report also talked about a crisis in terms of retaining teachers, keeping teachers in the classroom, that so many, we are still losing more teachers than we're getting certified from the 3 universities. This helps. It helps. It's not a bad thing, but is it as good as a legislature as you could have done?
In this budget, we took every available dollar and put it into K-12 education. This is what we did. Of course, you always want to do better, and we'd like to do better here. The teacher issue is not just an Arizona issue. This is an American issue. This is happening in all 50 states in terms of people about our age, Ted, when they came out of school and wanted to be teachers, have earned their retirement and they're off into retirement. So we want to keep the teachers that we have. We want to grow new teachers, and we want to find others that are capable of teaching and bring them into the profession.
Alternative teaching credential may do that. Why was that, again, something you pushed for? Why was that important to you?
I think it's another tool in the toolbox. We used the example of Sandra Day O'Connor, someone who sat on the United States Supreme Court, taught at law schools, has a law school named after her, that upon retirement she wouldn't have been eligible to teach government in an Arizona public high school. We've got a lot of talented, experienced people across the state. If they want to come serve for a year, 2, 3, or more in a classroom, let's get them to the front of the classroom. They can bring a lot to the party.
I know some teachers, though, say it devalues the education that it takes and the knowledge that is needed to lead. I mean, Justice O'Connor may know everything about what she's talking about, but if she can't lead a classroom, the education process is not what it should be.
Well,
again, do they have a point?
I think it highlights how important it is to have the highest quality teachers in our classroom, how well we're doing with so many of our teachers right now, and that we want to bring other talented people in. And yes, there's a learning curve there, but I think that they can address this, and principals, superintendents, school operators have been terrific at training here.
All-day kindergarten, full-day kindergarten at low-income schools, that passes. $38 million for excelling schools. That was another thing that you like to see. Why was that important to you?
Well, I think it's important we have wait lists at our best district schools, at our best public charter schools. So the parents have spoken. They said, I want my child in this school. I think it's a shame when they can't get into that school. These schools that are excelling, we want them to expand capacity so that they increase the size of those seats. So it's additional dollars with a focus on low-income schools. That's where our achievement gap is, and that's where I want to address this with resources.
For those who say, though, that it mostly benefits richer school districts, parents from richer school areas, as opposed to those lower-income areas, you say?
I say that's not accurate. This has got a focus and a priority on lower income schools. And I think just because a school isn't at the 99% free and reduced lunch doesn't make it a wealthy school. There's plenty of middle class areas across our state and rural areas that need help and need resources. So we're giving that incentive to get those dollars there.
STEM teacher loan forgiveness included $3 million to match federal funds for broadband expansion at some of the rural schools, especially $1 million to the JTEDs out there. Sounds good. Can you do better?
Well, We spent every available dollar in K-12 education. We're also growing the economy. Like I said, Maricopa is the fastest growing county in the nation. There will be more available dollars next year, but in this budget, in terms of what we wanted to do, I feel like we got those dollars into the education formula, to the universities, to the teachers, to the rural areas, to broadband, to we're working on debt forgiveness for teachers that are coming out of school. I mean, I think we've got a lot of package coming forward that addresses this issue, and there will always be more to do on K-12 education.
$17 million for school repairs, K-12 school repairs, $63 million for new construction. Are you happy with those numbers?
I think it's a good step in the right direction. Let's not forget, the state ran out of money in 2009. There wasn't a dollar available. We were borrowing money from Bank of America. Those days are behind us. The budget's balanced. There's $458 million in a reserve account earning interest. We're going to put $17 million into construction and capital into that formula, and as we continue to grow the economy, there will be more dollars available.
No soft capital restoration, and we're hearing that since 2009, as you mentioned, anywhere from $2 to $4 billion, depending on who you talk to, of money that should have been going to schools for maintenance. That money just simply has not been there, resulted in a lawsuit now. Your thoughts on the fact that we're now facing yet another lawsuit after figuring out Prop 123. We got another one here regarding education funding and what, again, plaintiffs say the state is responsible for, and the Supreme Court at one point said, yeah, you're right.
Well, the way lawsuits are addressed is with settlement, oftentimes with funding. We did settle Prop 123 and put that behind us. We brought a $3.5 billion solution to the table. We did it all without raising taxes. We're putting more money into capital and construction. We'll figure this out and we'll navigate it. And there's more to follow on that. Of course, there are going to be people out there that are always trying to bring lawsuits, trial lawyers that are always trying to raise issues. I want to focus on the kids in the classroom. I'd rather get those dollars to our teachers than to lawyers, but this is something I'm going to have to deal with.
Indeed, 15% of what they should be getting, told that they would be getting from the settlement back in 1998, 15% districts are now getting, and when each student should be getting 450, well, we shouldn't say each student, the soft capital per student should be $450 a pop. It's now $40 a pop. Do you understand why some folks say that we can't get this done without a lawsuit?
Well, I think you can get a lot of things done without a lawsuit. That's my experience coming from the business world, but trial lawyers have to make a living as well. We're going to bring resources and capital to this solution. We also have some innovative ideas, but this is what we could do in this session. This was a massive amount of additional dollars when you couple it with Prop 123 and dollars for capital and construction, but there's more to follow. We'll be back here next year at this time talking about what we did in that session as well.
It seems like there's a movement afoot now. Folks are riled up. I mean, let's put it around the country here in Arizona. They're riled up when they see something they don't like. They're ready to undo it. We've talked about the lawsuit regarding soft capital. There's an effort now underway to undo the ESA voucher program. Send that to the ballot as well. Why is this program so good for Arizona?
Well, I think this is a good program, but this is a very small reform. This is capped, it's gradual. This law has already existed since 2011, benefiting foster children and disabled children and underprivileged children, children on Indian and tribal lands. This is capped at 5,000 kids a year. At its maximum, it's less than 3% of the Arizona public K-12 education system. I think it's a good reform, but a small reform. People can bring things to the ballot. They can participate in the elective process. We'll deal with that as it comes to the ballot. I think when I've had discussions with people, and in my family I've got public school teachers and people in the public school system, when they've seen what a small reform this is, that's been the end of the discussion.
But it diverts money from public schools.
JLBC scores this as having no fiscal impact on our public schools. There are kids that need this, and there are parents that need these choices. I'm in favor of parental choice, so I'm going to err on that side, while at the same time putting additional dollars to our public K-12 district schools.
Let's go with the idea that JLBC says it evens out, it zeroes out here. How does that still help public schools?
Well, it helps public schools because our state's growing so quickly, and you just mentioned the capital that we're having a tough time keeping up with. So as we bring these dollars into the state, as we bring these individuals into the state, those dollars follow those new students into the public district K-12 classroom. There will be additional dollars for those schools. It also is a safety valve as we grow as a state, that there's options for parents that need a choice.
Are you comfortable knowing that you might be on the same ballot as a referendum on this particular?
Well, the campaign cycles are too long. What we're focused on in this office is good public policy going forward. And I think we have a record of achievement and accomplishment. I'm not here to run cover for all the decisions of the past or how we got into the financial hole that we were in. But what we've done since January of 2015, I feel very positive about.
That same ballot might also have referred ideas regarding the initiative process, as we've talked about this before, limiting the initiative process, making it more difficult for voters to do exactly what they want to do on the next ballot. Again, good for Arizona. How?
Well, I'm a fan of the citizen initiative. I've passed things at the ballot. I've also stopped bad ideas at the ballot. These things are permanent and forever when they happen at the ballot. I think the more accountability, the more transparency we have around it, the better off we'll be. I think there's actually more discussion we need to have around how to have a positive citizen initiative process so that people understand what's going to be on the ballot, and that these folks from California and the East Coast can't parachute into our state and run a slick marketing campaign with millions of dollars in September and October, and we're stuck with the consequences ongoing and forever.
Yet those who support the process, they say it's difficult enough as it is to get on the ballot, and if someone does parachute in from who knows
Ted, there's tons of stuff on the ballot every year. We're always voting on propositions. I'm surprised that you can keep them straight. There's so many of them. So there's plenty of participation in this. Citizen initiatives are going to go forward. If we can limit the special interest, that's fine with me.
Okay, but some people see this as intimidation, trying to keep things. Again, the minimum wage kind of changed everything here. It was the earthquake that got all this stuff started.
Ted, I want to check this because I believe that this was also an idea under Janet Napolitano that had the positive support of leader Rebecca Rios from the Democrat side. So this idea of improving our initiative process is a nonpartisan, both a Republican and a Democrat governor have thought it's a good idea. This legislature's been able to get it through, and I've been able to move it forward. It's a positive.
But the push was strong after that minimum wage passed.
Well, there was something that had Janet Napolitano pushing for it as well. So I think we've all had our issues with out-of-state special interest. This is one step to address it, and I think it's a positive one.
The healthcare overhaul passed in the U.S. House. Your thoughts and the impact on Arizona, because it sounds like if it stands as it is, and I think everyone realizes a lot of here is going to change. If it stands as it is, we got some thinking to do here, don't we?
Well, it's not going to stand as it is. I mean, this is the process. It did get through the House, and everyone knows I want to repeal Obamacare, but what's most important to me are the citizens in the state of Arizona. And we have a situation here where we don't have choice in 14 of our 15 counties. We only have one private insurance provider. So the law's not working. It's on Congress to fix it. I'm going to be working with our United States senators to make sure that whatever gets through the Senate, if anything gets through the Senate, benefits the citizens in Arizona. And I've said that I don't want to see anybody have the rug pulled out from underneath them. I do not think that's good public policy. I don't think anybody wants that, but we're going to have to deal with the federal government and the votes in Congress. So I'll be working, and Arizona will have a seat at the table in this discussion.
$839 billion cut to Medicaid over the next 10 years. You parse this out, and Medicaid expansion, as we know it in Arizona, is very much threatened by this idea. Your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are first for the citizens that are benefiting from what has happened through the passage of this law and how they're transitioned to insurance so that they have a safety net. I mean, that's very important to me. That's why I've worked so hard to limit our spending and make sure we balance our budget. I think in a state like ours, we should have a social safety net for those that need it. So this is going to be part of the skill in the replacement in the United States Senate and what can get through the House. It's not always a attractive process in how it happens, but I think we saw the same thing when Obamacare was passed. The idea is to improve on this law, to have a better healthcare industry and market to serve our citizens. These people that are benefiting from this insurance, these are their lives we're talking about. I'm very concerned for what they're going to have available going forward, and they're going to be able to see a doctor. Now, let's not forget that many of our doctors in our state are refusing this insurance. So what good is coverage if you can't get care? That's been the problem with Obamacare, and that's what should be fixed and improved through this replacement.
But I want to get back to Medicaid expansion, because that Arizona is a trailblazer along those lines, and it works pretty well here in Arizona. Access has always been exemplified as something that is a good process and a good program. This sounds like it seriously threatens access as we know it, especially the expansion of Medicaid.
Well, I would challenge that. I think that Access does a good job in terms of getting value for the dollar, but that doesn't take away from what's going on in the healthcare industry. You have the insurance providers that are fleeing. You have the doctors that are refusing to provide coverage. That doesn't mean that Medicaid is doing that good of a job in terms of how Washington, D.C. is getting the dollars. So what I've said is let's have something that allows the private insurance market to repopulate in the state, and then give the governors flexibility. And I am confident with somebody like Tom Betlach leading Access that we can do a much better job than the federal government has been doing with Obamacare.
Can we do a better job than the federal government can do without all those federal funds?
We will need access to funds. If we're not going to have the rug pulled out from underneath anyone, we're going to have access to funds so we can transition people from government care into the private sector. And that's what we're advocating for. And that's what I think would be a positive and winning policy if they are able to get this through the Senate and the House and get a signature from the President.
We've talked a lot about the budget, a lot about money coming into the state, the past, the future. Governor Brewer, your predecessor, just spoke to Howie Fisher over Capitol Media Services, and she said in hindsight the corporate tax cuts were too aggressive. She got a point?
Well, in this very office, I talk to a lot of businessmen and chief executives that are visiting from California and Illinois and last month Texas, who make decisions to relocate here or build their supply chain out here. And it's often our attractiveness as a state that we're a low tax, light regulation state that's welcoming to businesses and citizens. So I hear this often, what did we get for the tax cuts? Well, we're sitting in the fastest growing county in the country. People don't move to where they don't want to live. I think it's the best leading indicator of quality of life and economic attractiveness. So I'm going to continue making Arizona a great place to live, work, play, recreate, retire, visit, and get an education. We can invest in K-12 education and have a better and more attractive tax and regulatory climate every year.
But are corporate collections reflecting the growth and the tax cuts? Are we seeing, because what I'm seeing out there is that corporate collections are down, even with the tax cuts, with $400 million worth in the past few years, 100 and some odd million just this year alone. I'm seeing that the corporate collections are still down. When are we going to see those go up?
Well, I look at our total tax base, and we're bringing corporations and individuals here, so I want to grow that total base. And if you look at the, I won't run through the laundry list of successes of companies we've had that have invested here and relocated here, but every time they do that, they bring citizens here, they bring employment here. Intel just announced they're going to make a $7 billion investment in Chandler that's going to bring thousands of jobs and 10,000 indirect jobs. You know what that does to grow our total tax base, that gives us dollars to give teachers raises? That's how I measure our tax base. That's how I measure success, that it's growing. Not that I'm hiking taxes on people so that I'm taking more from them, but that we're spending more inside the state and growing more and investing more. That allows me to have dollars to really take care of teachers and public education and capital and construction and Department of Child Safety and public safety and all the different priorities of government.
Is there any thought to ease those? Again, Governor Brewer's not saying that the tax cuts were bad. She's saying maybe a little too aggressive. Any thought that maybe they were a little too
We're going to
aggressive?
continue to move in the right direction and make this a more attractive state for companies to move to. When the economy is the issue, why would you take more money out of people's pockets, take more money out of companies' pockets? You know, that's when they go elsewhere. That's what Jerry Brown is doing in California. We're doing the opposite here in Arizona. I think it's a winning formula.
When will that winning formula start being reflected in terms of hard numbers? You give me that, you're looking at me like it's not reflected already. You say it's already showing results.
I think we're going in the right direction. Our state is growing in terms of population and our economy, and we're winning these competitive situations. I mean, I talked about Lucid Motors a few months ago. This was between 13 different states and 60 different markets. This is an electric car manufacturing company that came to rural Arizona. Comcast, Caterpillar, Apple, Google, Waymo. These are all companies that are operating in Arizona with our economy growing. There's always going to be more to do, but I think I can sit on a stage with any other governor and say that Arizona, in terms of population growth and economic growth, is as good as anywhere in the country. Texas and Florida have really been a model over the last decade. They're still doing well. We just took a company from Texas, but I want to go in that direction, and I do think we're seeing the results. I think oftentimes I hear from folks that focusing on the negative that's happening in the state, and I've got a real grip on where a governor needs to address the shortcomings and where we need additional resources and funds. But Ted, there's a reason everyone's moving here. There's a reason these companies are coming here. This is a pretty great place to live. You got to get outside of the governor's office in the Horizon studio and see it.
All right. Governor, it's always a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
You got it. Thanks, Ted.
And that is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
If you have comments about Arizona Horizon, please contact us at one of the addresses on your screen. Your comments may be used on a future edition of Arizona Horizon. Thank you. Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
America's housing crisis.
I have nowhere to go. I'm going to a hotel.
Frontline and NPR investigate the moneymakers
Millions of dollars in kickback.